What's going on, guys? So I just got back from the Apple event to get my first hands-on and early look with the new iPad Air, and we've got a lot to talk about. I'll tell you what I like about it the most at the end of the video. Let's start off by talking about the sizes. So yes, the new iPad Air now comes in 11-inch as always, but we now have a new 13-inch size. Now, we pretty much always had a 12.9-inch iPad Pro, and the big monster size of the iPad was always exclusive to the Pro models, but now, first off, the 12.9-inch naming sizing has been renamed to 13-inch, which honestly makes so much more sense now. So here's a quick hands-on with both sizes themselves, the 13-inch and the 11-inch. So you have 30% more real estate. We've always used, 12.9-inch, but it now comes to the Air, which is very nice. I think, it will become so much more popular since now more affordable version, but now with the Air models. But that's both displays right here. Now, an 11-inch size is great for traveling. It's just so portable. You can put it pretty much everywhere. Instead, the 12.9-inch, now 13-inch, is a less portable iPad, but you've got such a massive screen. You pretty much have like 60% more real screen estate, which is definitely welcome. I mean, watching movies and working on it is definitely awesome. We get 4 colors and 2 of them are actually brand new. Check them out. All right, so here's a quick hands-on with the colors themselves. This right here is the blue. Let me show you. So this is the blue right here, and as you can see with different color reflections, it looks quite different. It's a very soft blue, sky blue, I'd say, a little bit turned down. This is purple, and it looks really lavenderish, and when the light really hits it, it looks stunning. I think this one's probably my favorite. We've got Starlight right here, which is a mix between silver and gold depending on the lighting. I'm trying to give you the best different angles for you to see. And then we've got the infamous, the typical space gray right here, which also looks amazing. And a feature that I've been asking Apple to change for the longest time is the camera placement. The iPad finally now has the camera in landscape right in the center, because always when I was doing FaceTime calls, for example, I was literally looking at the person, but people thought that I was looking on the left because the camera was on the left, but now it's right on the center, which is such a welcome change. This is Apple clearly hinting us that the iPad is becoming a laptop over the years. People are using the iPad more as a laptop now more than ever. And I think now Apple literally forcing us that the camera's like now in landscape, it makes so much sense, especially since now iPads are used with keyboards most of the time. So Apple, I love this new change, and having it in landscape will literally solve all of the problems that I have in my life. I'm kidding, but it's definitely a very welcome change. So here's a quick color comparison with the purple and the blue. Let me show you the purple itself and a quick hands-on. The iPad Air hasn't changed in design. We still get Touch ID up in the top, the speakers that are here, and here. USB-C, a single camera with no flash. We still don't have flash on the iPad Air. Maybe something for next year. We have the smart connector for the Magic Keyboard, which the new one is also compatible with it, which is nice. Face ID up in the center. It's a solid iPad. It's a very solid iPad. Now, the heart of this new iPad Air is its new chip, and that's the M2. And yes, the iPad Air goes from the M1 to the M2 chip. And it's so funny because I'm now looking at Apple's website, and they're saying Apple M2 chip, incredible performance, blazing fast graphics, powerful AI capability. What AI capabilities have we seen in this new iPad? Obviously, there's third-party apps, but this is Apple clearly hinting us that we will be seeing tons of AI features coming up in WWDC. Now, Apple has also announced a new Apple Pencil, the Apple Pencil Pro, which is more oriented for artists. You can now squeeze the actual Apple Pencil and open up the toolbar and Apple Notes. You can also twist it, and the brush size will twist as well. Haptic feedback is also on the new Apple Pencil, so whenever you actually squeeze it, you actually get a tiny vibration, which is so satisfying. Whenever you select specifically something, it vibrates. Haptic feedback is amazing on the iPhone, and the iPads currently don't have haptic feedback, but now there's a sense of personalization with the Apple Pencil that now when you squeeze it, when you do certain gestures with the Apple Pencil, it will actually kind of vibrate, which is amazing. But definitely, by far, my favorite thing about the new Apple Pencil is Find My support. How many times have you lost an Apple Pencil in your life? I mean, I've lost it so many times. Probably I've lost like 4 Apple Pencils in my life. We actually talked about it in the podcast last week, that please, Apple release a Find My supported Apple Pencil. And I guess Apple listens to our podcast, right? And they finally released it, which is amazing. Here's a quick hands-on with the Apple Pencil Pro. Check this out. You can now pinch, and you now get a menu bar, for example, in Apple Notes. And as you can see, I'm now twisting it, and the actual depth, the width of the actual tool is changing. Isn't that cool? Find My. Apple Pencil finally has Find My. I'm happy. Okay, we gotta go. Now, as I said in the beginning of the video, I wanted to tell you about really what makes this iPad Air so great. My favorite feature of this new iPad Air, and that's the storage, and that's the price, because the problem that I had with the iPad Air was the base storage, right? When somebody was like, hey, should I buy the iPad Air? And it was always a difficult decision, because if you wanted the base model, right, it started at 64 gigabytes. And then for that price, if you wanted the 256, you might as well get the iPad Pro. That was always the dilemma, right? Now, the iPad Air 11-inch M2 starts at 128 gigabytes. I mean, base storage starting at 128 is good. It's way better than 64. We got a new iPad Air. What do you think?
I'm excited. I think the 13-inch big screen, cheaper than the Pros.
It's basically like a Pro, right?
For most people, yeah. But still 60 hertz, right? No ProMotion, no OLED. But big
what
screen.
else? I mean, what else would you add to this iPad Air? You're Tim Cook right now.
I mean, you know what I'm happy about? They've doubled the storage, base storage, 256 gigabytes. That was like my biggest issue.
Right, with the Air. And when people buy it, it's like, just buy a Pro for that storage.
Yes, so that's changing everything.
This guy's busy, so I'm gonna let him go. Go, you got it found. Go. You want to discover what's new with the new iPad Pro and the new Magic Keyboard? You can tap this video right here. If you're new to the channel, you know what to do. You can subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.